Hello, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we are going to be making a fun card featuring the Joyful Robin stamp set from Dare to Be Artsy. This stamp set features some gorgeous Scandinavian style birds and lots of sentiments. First off, I have die cut all of my paper off screen. This is from the Merry and Bright collection. This is a Christmas paper collection. But the beautiful thing about all of the Dare to Be Artsy papers is that they're double-sided. So with this particular collection, you have some nice, just standard, everyday paper that you can use for all of your card making outside of the Christmas holiday. And the two that I am using, one of them is called Rockin Christmas, and the other one is called Oh Christmas Tree. So I have die cut those off screen. And I am going to stamp and color the large robin with the florals from the Joyful Robin stamp set. And I have stamped this with some Dare to Be Artsy Totally Black ink, which is a Copic friendly ink. So it works great with your Copic markers or any alcohol type markers for coloring. And I'm just stamping this a couple times to get a good impression here. And then I will be coloring it with my, they're called sketch markers, sorry. My sketch markers, they are very similar to Copics, have a little bit cheaper price point though. So I am building my collection of those, and I've been playing around with them, and I find that I really like them as a great alternative to Copic markers. So I'm pulling out a color wheel here, and I'm going to kind of try to match the colors of my paper with the markers that I'm going to be using today. So I'm going to color these up, and I did speed up the coloring a little bit, but I've left most of it in. And I will go ahead and put on some music and let you enjoy the coloring. Okay, welcome back. I am just adding the finishing touches on the coloring for this image. I'm coloring up the little florals that accompany this image. And actually, these are part of the stamp. So when you stamp this, you get the bird and then all the florals in the background. So it's a nice it kind of provides a little background detail for this little birdie. And the nice thing is that the coordinating die actually cuts out the bird and all the florals. So you get this complete image when you die cut it. So I'm just adding some finishing details on these florals. They're pretty small, so it's hard to add too much detail to them, but I am trying to add some shading to give them a little bit of depth. So I'm finishing that up, and then I'm going to stamp and heat emboss my sentiment, which also came from the Joyful Robin stamp set. I used the sentiment that reads, "Hope is like a bird that sings of endless joy that Jesus brings." And I thought that was a nice sentiment for this card. Kind of feeling like everything going on in the world today, it's nice that we, should all have a little bit of hope that things will work out. But honestly, this sentiment could be used for most anything, any kind of uplifting card. You could even use it as a sympathy card. There are some other sentiments in this stamp set. There's, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think 7 other sentiments aside from the one that I use. So you get a lot of different choices with this. I am just adding the finishing touches on these flowers. They're pretty small, but I really like the look of this whole. This is one of my favorite stamp sets, and I like the way that the added florals in the background are a nice touch. Just finishing up coloring that last couple flowers here. And then I will be using the coordinating die to die cut this out. And it will cut the entire bird image, as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and stamp and heat emboss my sentiment onto the piece of white cardstock using some Hero Arts Tiger Lily embossing powder, which is sort of an orange color, kind of ties into my card. And I'm going to do that off screen. And then I will be adding a little bit of dimensional foam here to add this to my background. I have added a little bit of dimensional foam to the bird to pop it up next to my sentiment. And for a finishing touch, I am just adding just a very few amount of pearls to the front of this. They're sort of iridescent kind of orange color, so they coordinate really well. And I think I'm just adding 3 is all I'm adding. I felt like I didn't need too much in the way of embellishments. I'm just going to add those with some liquid glue here. Those glued down in place. It's a nice little bit of shimmer to the card panel. So I didn't even add any other liquid shimmer or anything to this, so kind of a first for me. I just left the coloring the way it was. But there's a look at my final card featuring the Joyful Robin stamp set. Please click the like button and subscribe to be notified every time I post new content. Thank you so much for joining me today. Have a wonderful day.